Here, can you look at the levels while I talk for a second? Now! That's going to be really loud. I'd read that right in the thing.
Okay. Animated movie films.
What is that?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
So,
You still haven't figured out to intro your a podcast, eh?
am I supposed to?
It was just... I like
Am I supposed to figure it out?
No.
I didn't think so either.
No. I was thinking about animated movies.
Were you?
Because you told me to.
Well, yeah.
This is something I never thought was going to happen is a lot, if not most of my favorite TV shows now are animated. And that's strange. I never expected that to be the case. I always, for some reason, expected that more for movies. And now 3 of my top 5 are favorite shows are animated.
What about your top favorite movies?
I don't think any are animated in the top movies.
Mine are, I know for sure.
Interesting. Are they on your top for your Letterboxd?
No, because I don't have all the movies that I watched before I got Letterboxd.
Yeah.
There was a time where I was going to go through, and anytime I saw a movie on Letterboxd that I know that I had seen before, I was going to then be like, oh, I should give this a rating. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to
your rewatch.
It's just if I rewatch it, I'll put on there that I rewatched it, and I'll review it then. Letterboxd is cool, though.
Yeah, we should put our Letterboxd out there if people want to friend us.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Is it like, do I have a website, a username? Is there like a URL? Can you search my name? I don't know how it works.
It'd be like in the description or something. We could put our names.
Put it in the description of the video.
Or just, you know what? Just go search for us. And we're not going to tell you how.
There you go.
Figure it out.
Mystery Letterboxd accounts.
Yeah.
You got to find ours.
Let's start with you.
Yeah, because
what do you think about
we established last time that you're not good at going first.
Okay, you have to bring it there, though. That's not.
It's just a matter of fact. Number 4, right? 4.
Yeah, I guess I said earlier, I'm kind of doing this like it's jazz.
Yeah, you're freeform.
Yeah.
I have a notebook. Usually I don't have a notebook, but this time I got a notebook.
It's all up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool.
Okay, so I'm going to do my number 4, which I actually thought was going to be Into the Spider-Verse. But it's not. It is The Emperor's New Groove.
This is, thank God I brought more than just my 4, because Emperor's New Groove on my list.
And Into the Spider-Verse?
Into the Spider-Verse on my list.
Good thing you brought more than 4, but you can still have those be on your list. You can still have those be your top.
On my canon list, but I want to talk about more movies.
Yeah, we'll talk about more. I'm going to talk. I got like 400 movies on here that we're going to talk about.
So let's talk about Emperor's New Groove.
I didn't rewatch any of the ones that were my top, and it's very telling because I was like, oh, I don't need to watch that. I already know everything about that movie. I've seen it so many times. And that's what I realized is how I determined my top movies, was all the ones that I said, there's no reason to rewatch that because I already know that I love that movie.
Yeah.
So Emperor's New Groove was definitely on there, and it was one of the ones that I remembered really late in the game.
Really?
Yeah, because I had just started this massive list, and I originally was going to do...
the one that you were just like, I gotta switch
I just switched it.
Oh.
Because it was Into the Spider-Verse, because I was like, that's such a freaking amazing animated movie, but it's really only amazing because I like Spider-Man, and the animation itself is really, really cool. Like, they did cool things with the animation. There's different, like, a merging of different styles, and then, like, it's just...
What else do you want?
What do you mean?
Because you said, yeah, but it's only really amazing because of these cool things that are amazing. Where does it suffer for you?
It doesn't really suffer. It doesn't do anything wrong, necessarily. You know, there's some things that I don't love about it, but all in all, it's one of my favorite animated movies. I would probably put it at number 5. But I just realized that the other ones are better.
Yeah.
And there are other ones are ones that I know that I would always be happy to sit down and watch. I don't think I could ever get sick of any of these movies. And Into the Spider-Verse, I've only seen like 2 or 3 times. So just that alone, and it's newer than all the other ones, but just that alone, I'm like, it can't really be on the list because that is not a movie I would be able to rewatch a million times. I could rewatch it a few times.
Yeah.
Give it a watch every couple of years or so.
Yeah. It's a good pick, though.
So that's Into the Spider-Verse, but let's talk about Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
John Goodman.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Phenomenal.
A stacked cast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole cast is awesome. Obviously...
Patrick Warburton
steals
the show. I mean, because he kind of... I don't know if he was a name, really, at the time. And... I feel like everyone knows him as Kronk. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Kronk. That's who I know that guy is.
Yeah, and Kronk is, like you said, he does steal the show. He's like the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah. Why spinach buffs?
Yeah. It's not that complex of a character. It's just really funny.
No, it's the himbo.
It's just hilarious.
The original himbo character that like was really, truly the staple.
And I could watch it all day.
You know, he's got a heart of gold because at the end
He does have a heart of gold,
guy.
and he's one of the villains.
Yeah.
He's like working for the villain, so.
But he switches it up at the end.
Yeah, and you're rooting for him the whole time, no matter what he's doing.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he comes around. Yeah.
And him and his the angel and devil on the shoulder is incredible.
That's a really good bit.
What a weird trail to like when designing that movie to grasp onto this character and be like, we're gonna do some side stuff with him in this movie too.
Yeah,
It's
like
awesome.
he gets his own little bits too.
Yeah.
Which is great.
You know, and him getting like being the cook at the kitchen.
That's my favorite part, I think.
You didn't tell me it was your birthday.
Okay, yeah,
And
so
that movie was. Do you know about like the making of it and how
Not
it
really.
was disastrous?
no.
Yeah, it was like around every corner, it was just like everything that was going wrong and just like different versions. Throw that out. Different versions. Throw that out. There's some on the DVD. There's like half animated scenes that were taken out. The scene that's like they took it out because it was like a little too dark, but it's really funny. It's when Pacha is leaving the kingdom and he's gotten the bad news already. There's a remade life-size version of his village, like cardboard version, and then like the army comes in like burning it to the ground in practice.
to practice for burning his village to the
and
ground.
it's like it's viewed like horrific, and he's like, oh my
God.
God, this is what it's gonna be like. But they're all like, yeah.
That is really funny.
Really funny.
They could have left that in.
They could have, but
could've
I
left
guess
it in.
just Disney.
You know what's another thing that's really nice about it is that at the time, it was an animated Disney-like movie, like Disney Renaissance-like, but with no music except for in the opening, which is great.
Yeah,
It's just a song about how great Cusco is.
Yeah, I wonder, I don't remember the era of Disney that was released in. It must have been like the end of and start of something new.
I think it's like around 2000, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to guess it's 2004.
I'd say that's a good guess. I'm going to guess 2003.
You going to look it up?
Hey Google, when did Emperor's New Groove come out?
In the United States of America, The Emperor's New Groove came out on December 10th, 2000.
2000.
I was right.
Yeah,
I was closer.
The first time, yeah.
I was closer because I said,
but even so, the first time you
yeah.
said 2000.
I did think that it was a little closer, like
Yeah.
2001-ish. But then I was trying to think, and I was like, was that a post-September 11th movie? Was that a post-9/11 film?
Yeah, maybe that's why they took out that scene.
They took out the scene because they didn't want to horrify the American kids.
I think the simplicity of it too is they really just did take an old saying and we're like, this is an old saying about a person that's going to show how you can change. Let's just make that the full movie.
Yeah, I guess there's not really that much to say about it. It's just the comedy hits every time. It's really funny.
It's really, really funny, and it's 80 minutes.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that short.
Yeah, it's great.
I love a short king movie.
Short King movie.
So that is my number 4.
Okay.
The Emperor's New Groove. Your move.
Well, I'm going to go then with Road to El Dorado.
That is so far from my list. I don't know why, but that movie's so boring. I love Elton John.
Oh, I love that
and
movie
I love
so much.
the bit in the beginning when they're in the market.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just don't care about most of the rest of the movie.
Interesting.
You know, I want to love that movie because I really like Elton John a lot. And I like the music just fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just something about the movie that's so boring to me.
I love it. I think it's so fun. I think that energy in the market just is throughout the whole movie. And I was reintroduced to it because Mike had me watch this video by, this is what I was writing down, the YouTuber, Bread's World. He does like really deep dives into some of these like animated movies and talked about like the inspiration behind it being about those like the Road to movies back in the day from like
Yeah, like the
Bing
classic
Crosby
Bing
and
Crosby
Bob
Road
Hope.
Show.
Yeah.
That's
And-
also what like Road to Rhode Island on Family Guy is supposed to be
Right,
like
yeah.
a callback to.
And he was talking about all the different parallels, and he's like, he was like, there's something about the Road to movies that isn't in there yet. And he's like, they were very, very meta, those Road to movies. They like would talk to the camera sometimes. They would just make these really meta jokes. And he's like, and these two characters in the movie aren't doing that. I wonder, but the vibe's still there. And then halfway through the review, he's like, oh my God, it's the horse. The horse doesn't have any lines. And anytime they say something stupid, the horse looks at the camera.
That's funny.
And so it's like they personified that bit in the horse. Makes you feel like he's got some of the best lines. He doesn't have any lines.
He doesn't have any lines. He just gyms the camera.
He just gyms the camera the whole time. Yeah. And he's just like reacting in reality. He's like more grounded in reality. Like, this is crazy. Is no one seeing this?
There's no one else seeing this.
But yeah, that's a movie on my list. Next, you can go for you.
I have Road to El Dorado written somewhere on here because I wrote down movies that I like wanted to rewatch. Well, maybe I didn't write it down.
I didn't rewatch a damn single movie for this, just by the way.
That's fine.
Just like, this is all based on the last viewing, just generically, not
Just
generically.
how it sticks in your mind, which that's fine.
So there are some that like I definitely want to revisit and be like, that could be on my list. And just to throw a movie out there that I wanted to watch and I still want to watch. It's my top animated movie to watch is Coraline. I've never seen it. Really want to watch it.
I've never seen it either. Let's watch it.
Let's watch it.
We're going to watch it.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Netflix's Klaus.
Oh, you've talked about this. Yeah.
I absolutely adore this movie. It's a Christmas movie. It's like a Santa origin story, but it is so much more.
So it's like a prequel to the Santa Claus.
Nope.
It's a Santa origin story.
I don't want to spoil the movie for you because it really is great, it starts with a very, very Cusco-like character. He is the Postmaster General's son in, I'm assuming, what's like a fictionalized version of England. And the Postmaster General is like an actual like military general, but he also is kind of like royalty almost. Mail is a big deal in this universe.
Mail.
Oh,
okay.
M-A-I-L.
Gotcha. The naughty nice list, the Santa letters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so basically you have this guy who is the worst, like most entitled jerk you've ever seen, like how Cusco is when he starts out.
Mm-hmm.
The transformation is like more realistic. It takes place over a longer period of time. It's like over several months. And basically he gets sent to the worst town ever. It's like the most northernmost town.
Detroit.
Yeah. The guy who takes them there on this boat, played by Norm Macdonald. And
You sold me.
Yeah.
You sold me already.
And he gets up there and he's like this guy who's used to like being pampered or whatever. And then he's like, you have to deliver 6,000 letters or whatever by next year. And that's his goal. And so that's how the movie starts. And
then the adventure goes into happen.
Yeah, I don't want to say any more.
Yeah, don't, definitely.
And that's the only one on the list from the last 20 years.
Oh, everything else is older animation.
Yeah, and Into the Spider-Verse would have been the exception if I didn't remember The Emperor's New Groove existed.
Cats. Or I'm sorry, no, Cats Don't Dance. That's
Thank God.
My bad. Cats Don't Dance.
All right, what? I've never even heard of that.
Cats Don't Dance is a Warner Brothers, and I remember it specifically being Warner Brothers because it's all very about Hollywood, and it has like the Warner Brothers logos everywhere, and it's about like a cat going to the big city to be part of the movie industry, going to Hollywood, and then being typecast because like cats don't dance. You don't get to be you're in the extras, but you don't get to be on the top rung here.
Wow.
And it's a really, really fun movie. The music is really I just always forget about the music, and then when I watch it again, I'm like, so fun and so upbeat. And Scott Bakula's in it, who's you know Scott Bakula.
Yeah.
What's the show?
But let's say I do.
With the Quantum Leap, that guy.
Okay, sure.
He's the voice of the main guy, and I always forget that.
I was confusing him with Scott Baio.
Oh.
But then I was
Blah,
like,
blah, blah.
they're the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the same guy. So every Scott's the same.
Whoa. The Scottish people are not going to like
all
that.
those Scots are the same. So it's a great movie. Cats Don't Dance. And there was something,
Should we watch that one too? Because I've never seen it.
I mean, I'll definitely watch it.
I swear to God, though, if I see one dancing cat in that movie, I'm turning
You're
it
going to
off.
see so many dancing
Nope.
cats. Because they want to dance so bad.
You know what, though? They don't.
say it.
They don't
John,
dance.
so the writer of Road to El Dorado, that's what I was trying to remember. He also wrote the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
I love the first 2 Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah. And he wrote them all. He's like still
cool.
writing them.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And then Cats Don't Dance, I believe, was from the same writer as Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, your turn.
Okay, my number 2. Another Christmas movie.
Fucking Christ, I thought I got away from this. All right.
Movies are made. The movies were invented to celebrate Christmas. The only reason movies exist
It's all about Christmas and baseball.
is to be Christmas movies. Sure,
I forgot where I heard that. Someone said that baseball is the most cinematic sport. It's perfect for movies.
because they don't do anything most of the time.
Maybe. Anyway, what's your number 2, you little dummy?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm.
This is a good one. I wasn't sure if I should count it, but
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
would.
it's literally called stop motion animation.
Yeah.
So that's an animated movie.
I would even consider a movie that is CG animated, that's all CG animated, could be considered animation. I would like to remove them into categories, but like the live action Lion King,
That's the one that you have
that's
to
an
bring
animated
up.
movie. You know,
There are no rules.
there are no rules.
So yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. I've always loved Nightmare Before Christmas. It's cool because it's like it's your Halloween vibes, and I do like a Halloween vibe, but it's also a Christmas movie.
It's one of Dan's favorite movies of all time.
It's great, and like the music. There's really not a song that I don't love except Sally's song. It's okay, but I never
It's a hot take.
liked the slow girl song.
What do you mean by girl song?
So there's a lot of movies where there is not a lot of female representation in the cast, and the girl is just like the object of the hero's eye, right? And then they try to give her a song, and it's the worst one because it's always a sappy love song. And Nightmare Before Christmas suffers from that too. And Sally doesn't do that much in the movie, but she is still a part of it.
Yeah.
Like she's not completely she's not completely unused, but she is underutilized because she could be a much more interesting character, but she doesn't really get that much screen time.
Nightmare Before Christmas is always a weird topic for me because I feel embarrassed that it's not my thing.
That you don't like it.
It's just not my thing, and it so is, right? Like everything about it screams what I like, and I've tried to revisit it in recent years, and I'm like, it's just not for me.
What is it that you don't like?
I just can't get invested in any of the characters. I don't know, I feel so alienated from the world.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's one of the most fun parts for me is that the world is so weird and wacky.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I love weird, wacky worlds. I don't know why I feel like I'm an outsider to it the whole time. Like, I feel like I can't get myself into it. That's a me issue.
I mean, you're allowed to not like it.
But yeah, it's just weird.
For me, there's just something cool about holidays in general and having... I really like the culture that surrounds holidays, that like it's this thing that so many people all agree on. These are the things that we do. We eat these foods on this day. You don't eat these foods the other days. Like when are you going to eat cranberry sauce? You know, you're not pulling that out in March.
I'm not pulling that out ever.
You want to drink some green beer on Earth Day? That would be the most appropriate. That would be the other most appropriate time to drink green beer. But like that's a St. Patrick's
But also
Day
green
thing.
beer, I would if I'm going to drink a beer, I would like it to be different colors.
Sure,
I would like it to be rainbow colors or
that's
something.
a good idea for a bar. We'll open a bar
Oh yeah.
and it will have all.
What color would you like your Bud White?
All different color beers, and we would be, we just call it the gay bar. Gay pride.
bar.
All right, what's your number 2?
Have we really only done? I feel like you've skipped. I've only said 2.
I'll do whatever I want.
Oh, there's a 4. It's a list of 4.
It's
I forgot.
4, yeah.
It's
You
not
did only
5.
do 2.
You're right. Well, I'm gonna say, I picked one Pixar movie as like a Pixar slot representative. I love Pixar. Most of them, I don't even know. I'd have to go through them, but
At
I
this
like a lot
point-
of them.
At this point, it's a lot harder to say that all the
You're
Pixar
right.
movies are good.
But I like a lot of them. And the one that I've chose to represent it, I don't even think is the best one, but it hits every
Can I
time.
guess?
Yeah, go for
Inside
it.
Out,
Yes.
of course.
Inside Out is one of the only movies that can consistently make me cry.
Yeah.
And it always at the same spot. I've never seen a more meaningful hug that's ever happened on screen than when she hugs her parents towards the end of the movie, when she's just like, she's run away, she's come back, she's just going crazy. I'm getting a little choked up talking about it, but
I watched it last night.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
And in
no,
that,
it's Inside Out.
you're right. It's Monsters Inc. But it's just so good, and it I guess for someone that has been there, done that.
That's it for me.
That's why.
That's it for me. A movie has never so accurately depicted what it's like to have a mental illness for me. Like that was what I felt watching Inside Out, where I was like any criticism that I have maybe about like what goes on inside of Riley's head can be rationalized with like, oh, that doesn't like, I don't really get what they're doing or why, or that doesn't make sense, or they're going over here and doing this and that affects her in what way and stuff. And it's like, all of that is like, it's so hard to tell what's going on inside your head.
Yeah, the amount of times that you are feeling like, why the fuck do I feel this way about this thing?
Yeah.
I should be happy right now.
Yeah, there's a cotton candy elephant that gets stuck in a canyon
Yeah.
and they got to sing their way out.
Pour one out for Bojo the Clown.
And like, I don't know, they're just like memories or these little spheres and they like,
Yeah, the universe is great.
it's so wacky and it doesn't make a ton of sense. But then at the same time, like I said, it's really hard to depict what goes on inside of my head. And I
Yeah.
love that they've abstracted it out into this world and that when you really get into the mental illness, like the real serious depression, it's like this whole island is crumbling. She no longer likes hockey.
Yeah.
And it's like that is kind of what it feels like when you're really seriously suffering from depression, which I have and still do. You don't like the things that you used to anymore. And it's like literally nothing you can do. It feels like there's nothing that you can do to like regain interest in the things that you used to like
Yeah.
or love.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to,
Let alone the
depict
energy is like, you can just, sometimes I'll catch myself daydreaming about a hobby I used to do that I could get up and go do over there, but I'm just not going to do that.
yeah. And the memory of what it used to feel like is a happy memory.
Yeah, but doing it is not happy.
Yeah. Doing it, it just feels like it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It feels like it's like almost worse because you know you used to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now I know that I used to enjoy it. And if I go do it, it's going to ruin it.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin that
Yeah.
thing because I'm not going to like it as much. And then now I won't even have the memory to make me
Yeah.
happy.
And devotees of the channel will know from my videos every once in a while that I posted about my relationship with making videos being the thing I care about the most for some reason, and yet hate it the most sometimes, and stupid.
Yeah, you are stupid.
Yeah. Also, good segue to talk about another piece. Inside Out was really good for talking about mental illness in an abstract way, but to talk about a piece that has described mental illness in one of the best ways possible is a BoJack episode.
Horseman.
And I wanted to talk about this because when I was doing my pass of editing the most recent podcast, when it came up that you asked me what my favorite BoJack episode was, it instantly came into my head. I was like, why didn't I say that? That I have a favorite episode. It's been there, my favorite for a while, and it's a stupid piece of shit. And I can't believe I'm a stupid piece of shit for forgetting it.
Yeah, last podcast episode, I asked you what your favorite BoJack episode was, and you said it was Fish Out of Water.
Yeah. And that might even still be my third favorite, because really, The View from Halfway Down is so incredible, but stupid piece of shit is so good. And I've never seen anything describe the narration in my head on a daily basis the way that show does.
Yeah, and that is my favorite episode. And I told
Yeah.
you about that, like, even before you watched the show, as I was like, there's one definitive episode that is my favorite, like head and shoulders above the rest. Because we were talking about, like, episodes that we, like, one of my favorite episode and my least favorite episode is while you were going through, because you're like, ooh, I want to see if I can guess which one. And it's like, yeah, stupid piece of shit. It's the name of the episode. And it just goes over the, like, events of a day in, like, a random day in Bojack's life. But for the first time ever, you really you hear his inner monologue the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not invasive enough because it's too familiar. And that's so weird is you're like, wow, this whole episode was narrated this whole time. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's hard to talk about because again, like we've talked about, you just want to watch the show. Just go ahead and watch the show. But yeah, now we can move on.
Yeah.
One
Great
more
show.
One more movie that's animated that makes me cry every time, but I'm not putting it on the list because I know it's not a good movie. But like
Cats.
Cats
Makes you cry. Not a good
every
movie.
time, yeah. No, the first Pokemon movie
I wrote that down as something that I want to rewatch at some point.
makes me cry every time I watch it.
Why do you say it's not a good movie? What is it that makes it not
There's
a good movie?
lot of things about it that are just a little off that are the same things I feel about the animated show. Just like still some balls dropped in terms of the universe that they have at their disposal. And then they could have done a better job perhaps introducing that world to people who have never sat down and watched. They're watching it in the theater for the first time. A lot of parents probably were. And also there is just some difficulties in the logistics of the beginning of the plot because it's changed between the Japanese version and the American version.
Oh, interesting.
And so, like, for instance, throughout the whole Japanese version of the movie, Mew's kind of a dick.
Really?
Yeah. Mew is just kind of like being like, what are you going to do, little bitch? I'm the good one. You're a freak.
Wow.
And so it feels much more like two just infighting that they stop rather than like a good and a bad. And then
I like it better the American way.
There's something a bit more interesting about what they're trying to say because they have a clear. I'm trying to say something about the circumstances of being born and the cloning process and stuff like that because that was a big thing being talked about in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And then like the whole beginning flashback of Mewtwo's like past is different in the Japanese version and is a bit more sad first. Like
what is Mewtwo's past in the Japanese version?
You see Mewtwo when he was almost looked like a Mew when he was a little smaller, and he would interact with this little girl and then this little Bulbasaur, this little Charmander, this little Squirtle, and the little girl was like the clone of the scientist was trying to clone his daughter. That was the whole point of this process, and the only clone that would ever get past a certain age is Mewtwo. So he had like this whole friendship with these three Pokemon and this little girl, and they all die. The clones of them all die because they can't make it through, but Mewtwo makes it through. If I'm remembering it correctly, you know, and it's not like there's not a super great translation or whatever. But yeah, there's some powerful stuff in the Japanese stuff that was left out. But either way, it's a fine movie. It's just like there's always going to be some problems inherently with the way they do the Pokemon anime, but it's good for my little Pokemon soul. But like, it's just like also I'm going to buy every Pokemon game. They're B- games.
So
I'm going
really,
to buy every single one.
So really, in the Japanese version, Mewtwo's a tragic character, whereas in the American version, he's just the bad guy.
I still would say in the American version, there's a tragedy to it because you still see the way he was abused by like Giovanni and stuff like that at the beginning, and feeling as though like he's always been property, you know, like he's always been somebody's Pokemon rather than his own thing.
I mean, and that's just that's that thing that you never really want to talk about too much with Pokemon is that it's just kind of slavery.
Well, the people that originally, I forget his name specifically, the main guy that was like writing the first part of the anime, because he he never intended it for it to go seasons and seasons. He had like an idea of the show, and the show was going to end with a Pokemon uprising, and Pikachu was going to lead an uprising and free the Pokemon. And I don't know how that would have looked.
That's a different show.
It's a different show, but like he was like, he has also released like his own mangas of like what he envisions the Pokemon world to look like.
Official Pokemon mangas?
Kind of, because it's like, it's more like, it's almost like development. Like when you get a book of old development stuff, it's like his, like, because he was so ingrained at the beginning of it, it feels more like his take of things that were missing about the Pokemon world.
Wow.
And then some of the brutality of the mangas is much more up his alley, you know, like how Pokemon would, or people would die if they lose at the Elite Four.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about that. That's cool. Yeah, I'd like to see the more serious look at Pokemon. I'd like them to actually address it, maybe.
There's an end to that story, and it's freeing everybody, and it's acknowledging that it's fucking messed up.
Yeah.
But if that's what you want to do, maybe we'll do that in The Professor. Is that what something that interests you guys? That just blow the whole moral lid off the Pokemon world in The Professor?
Yeah, there you go. The end. Okay, so that was number 2's, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a million friggin' things to talk about for runner-up, honorable mentions. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Ahem. Space Jam.
Well, yeah, then you know what? Framing Roger Rabbit as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I never watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit as an adult.
No.
And as a kid, I was like, you know, there's some silly bits and stuff, but it's obviously, it's not really for kids, so.
Yeah,
you know.
it's a mishmash for sure.
Princess Mononoke.
That's the one you just reviewed.
I watched half of Princess Mononoke like 2 weeks ago, and then I watched the last half of it last night. And I didn't connect with it.
Is
I
it
have
too slice of life?
some notes.
Oh, Jesus.
It is not slice of life.
It's not? Okay.
No.
I was wondering. I haven't seen it, by the way. I've only ever seen one Studio Ghibli movie, and it's Spirited Away.
Okay.
But I have one on my list is the one I really want to watch is My Neighbor Totoro. I want to watch My Neighbor Totoro.
That's fine. We can use that. Our main character, Ashitaka, starts off the movie trying to defend his village from an attack by a god that has become corrupted.
Are you sure you're not just thinking about the Dan's backstory for his character in that board game we just played?
I don't remember. I don't listen when Dan talks.
That's a good call. So he's trying to defend it from a god.
So there's a god, and the gods are Shinto gods. Not really, but they're like inspired, like that kind of god.
Right.
So they're very much lesser gods. They're not omnipotent or anything. And if they get real mad, they turn into worms and like big, evil, juicy, scary monsters that destroy things. They like become consumed by rage, basically. That's kind of a cool concept. I like that. But basically there's this boar, like a wild boar. Yeah, it's such a bore. There's this wild boar that gets corrupted and then starts charging towards the village, and then he kills it with a bow and arrow. I think he gets like a scar from it because it touched him, like lash out and hit it. Yeah, hentai. They hentai his arm, and then he goes off on an adventure to go find the spirit of the forest to heal him. But then he gets mixed up in a fight between Iron Town, which is like a mining town, and the gods of the forest. And then from that point on, you have the mining town is just the humans who are destroying nature versus the gods that live in the forest. And
so it's Avatar.
That's the thing, is that it is as on the nose of a moral, like in your face as Avatar, which is not a compliment. No. And all the gods are assholes the whole movie. Like they at no point think critically about anything. They're just like, humans are bad, we want to eat them. Okay. And then the humans are like, we want to cut off the head of the forest god. Well, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then our main character is just like too good. He's too nice and perfect. Like he's just a perfect character.
Mary Sue.
I don't know. I didn't
It
like.
sounds very anime.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that is like
yeah.
yeah.
And like the animation is beautiful, especially considering that I'm pretty sure it's all hand drawn.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, everybody always told me it was the best Studio Ghibli film, and there's a lot of good about it, but like I just didn't connect with it is all.
Yeah.
And then I may have a couple notes here. One is, why did our main character get punished when he's clearly the best human to ever live? 2, the world would be better without the gods because they're all assholes. And then at the end, they're like, well, the forest god was really important because it could like heal things and stuff or something. But then at the same time, like, I get why the humans want to kill all the gods. At least that town.
Guys, if you're important, you can be an asshole.
Yeah. And then there is a very interesting character, actually, which is there's a woman who like leads Irontown, and she rescues women from brothels and then gives them a job working in these like ironworks, and then they are like making guns, but then they use the guns to kill animals or like the forest gods and stuff.
I also like that that's the way to empower women, is to take them away from their sexuality and bring them to something manly, like
that's interesting.
Because usually, like when you look at history of any economy, the only way that it survived was because of the women that were running the brothels and like utilizing that to make lots of money. We build an economy on the backs of that, and then we say, and now it's bad.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that. Apparently she wants to cut the head off the forest god to cure the lepers. She also takes in lepers and like cleans them up, and then I think they assemble the guns, and the women like run the iron mill.
So she even has like a kind of a good reason to want to be doing this.
Yeah, but we later find out, spoiler alert, that she was being manipulated by this other guy who wants the forest god's head so he can sell it to be rich.
Well,
and
why not both?
Sure. Yeah. The forest spirit is super aloof. All the other gods are just annoying, but the forest god just like rarely shows up. And then there's like, I don't know, it's like different at nighttime and daytime, and I didn't really get it. Well, and people are going to be mad at me about it, but whatever. I just didn't get it. I didn't connect with it.
That is a very God thing, though, to be a dick.
Yeah.
And then to judge others for...
They really aren't that powerful as gods, though.
It's true, yeah. They're like more kind of like elemental-esque.
The only other thing is that some of the English voice acting, there's an all-star cast. I watched the English dub version, and just some of the characters I felt didn't fit
You watched the dub?
I sure did. I watched the dub of an anime movie, and I didn't like the movie, and I'm not going to go back and rewatch it the other way.
The other way.
Tell me some of your other bits.
No. Okay. Well, my top movie was Spider-Verse. So
okay.
I'm not going to...
So now you need a new top movie.
And I have it.
Okay.
But
well, don't tell me that one.
This rightfully should actually be on my list, if not the top. But there's just something about when you're overexposed to something. And that's Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek is an incredible movie.
That's the next one on my runner-up list.
Shrek 2 is an incredible sequel to an incredible movie. And it's just... I just don't want to talk about it.
It was the only... It has some claim to fame as like the first non-Disney movie to win Best Animated Picture or something. It also is like one of the first... Like it broke the mold in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
and
it has a very interesting history about like the person leaving Disney for having an argument or whatever, and then like mocking all of those things on Shrek. Like
it's a very anti-Disney movie. Like the whole thing is let's make fun of Disney movies,
and that's great.
It's really good, yeah.
Great,
and it pushes the envelope. Mm-hmm. You know, at that time, that was what everybody needed because it's just right after the Disney Renaissance. It's like, okay, now you've given us all of these Disney movies. We're kind of getting tired of that. Yeah. And then Shrek comes onto the scene and bursts open out of the outhouse.
Somebody once told me, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Another one, Monster House.
Never saw it, and I never will.
Why?
Because they took the same name as the TV show Monster House that I really liked. And now anytime I try to Google that awful TV show I used to watch, I get stuff about this stupid good movie.
Stupid good Dan Harmon written movie.
Yeah.
which is
I do want to watch it
it's a
eventually.
good
but
movie, and it's up my alley. And the spook factor, it's all fun. And ooh, you know what?
Set spook drives to factor 5.
Some of the spooky movies that I haven't seen that I want to though is Paranorman.
Okay. I just have no interest in seeing that movie.
Frankenweenie, like some of
okay.
those, I'm like, well, they, same with Coraline. Obviously that has more to back it up.
Coraline is one that I actually really do want to watch, and I was going to watch it for this, and that's when I told you I was like, I'm not watching any new movies for this because I have like a week straight worth of back-to-back new animated movies that I want to see.
And that was the one I was telling you I was going to watch for this list, and I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch. Love that movie.
I like Lilo and Stitch.
I love Hawaiian vibe. I love aliens.
That's true.
I love that they really, really went balls out and made a weird character with Lilo. They did not like, usually when you make the weirdo kid that's like vilified or whatever, they're like weird, but like
it's very
like weird for
tame.
us. Yeah, it's like she's a weirdo.
She's not like other girls.
Awesome. And, yeah, but like she starts fucking fights with like, and she's just like probably autistic.
Yeah.
And I love that because you get, who knows if that was on purpose, but you get these characters that are coded that way sometimes, and the audience reception is incredible. Like I remember reading about this letter this autistic child wrote James Gunn for the representation with Drax, and just being like, he doesn't get jokes, I don't get those jokes.
Yeah.
And like just being like, I really like that I can relate so much to him and stuff like that. And so you get these characters that you don't usually see just like slipping through the cracks early on like that. It's fun, and
It's kind of a weird comment to make about Drax because him not getting jokes is played as a punchline 100% of the time.
yeah.
So it's interesting that even being the butt of the joke is more representation than is standard.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. A movie that I wanted to rewatch if I was going to rewatch stuff was going to be the Rugrats movie because I have it on VHS and I see it over there all the time. And I'm like, I remember really liking this movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time. And then the other thing is
that the first one with Reptar?
It's like the Reptar car.
Right.
That Stu built.
classic.
But I've never seen Rugrats in Paris.
You haven't?
Never, ever.
If I remember correctly, that's when Dill is born.
No, that's the Rugrats movie.
He's born in the first one?
That's the first one.
So then I think Dill was I think the first time I saw Dill in like a full adventure might have been the Paris movie then. 'Cause I remember thinking those two.
The Rugrats movie, both of them introduced new characters. One is Dill, and the other is Chucky's adopted sister.
Oh.
Because that's that's like the whole point of Rugrats in Paris, as far as I know, is that like Chucky's dad meets someone and they have a kid. Go Chucky's dad.
Yeah, go Chucky's dad.
Yeah, go Mr. Finster. I think his name is Charles Finster.
Charles Finster.
What a terrible name. Like what a
Chucky's
perfect
like
name for the character.
Chucky's kind of a junior. Chucky, if that's
Oh yeah,
case.
it's got to be right. That makes
Maybe.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one, Monsters Inc. I didn't put it on my top.
I wanted to do this. Rapid fire. You have 10 seconds. Top 5 Pixar movies.
No.
10, 9, 8.
I can't because one of them is my number one, stupid.
Oh, well then just do the top 4.
Okay.
10.
All right. Toy Story 2.
8.
Toy Story 3. You're never going to guess my number one.
Just go to your number one.
No. Monsters, Inc., Inside Out, Finding Nemo, Coco. Moana is not a Pixar movie.
Moana is nada.
Moana is not a.
I loved Moana.
I
Some
did
of
too.
my favorite music of recent. I mean, well, what's the one wasn't as big a fan of the movie as much as I was the music. The one that had Encanto.
You know
Love
what?
the music.
I watched Encanto and there was a 5-year-old there who had seen it a million times and it was very distracting. It was a very distracting way to watch the movie.
Oh, were they like quoting it the whole time?
Steph's nephew was there and it was just very difficult to concentrate on the movie because he was like playing with toys, but also then would get suddenly really excited and just like put his face against the screen to watch it really intently so I couldn't see it or whatever. And like, it was just so distracting that I was like,
That
I didn't
sounds
get
awful
it.
for most people, but that sounds fantastic way to view that movie.
So I was like, this movie's okay. I like a lot about it. And like some of the animation, the house is so cool. I love the house.
Oh yeah. I think it could have maybe taken some like some pacing changes, like maybe not make the story. It felt like I think it might have been like one day.
They were too mean to Bruno.
They were too mean to a lot of people, and
But they were really, really brutal to this guy.
yeah.
And the whole idea is like, we're all a big family. We live in the same house. It's like,
Well,
are you going to value family at all?
That's the point of the movie.
But I just
like,
think it was I think it went too far.
But it's kind of real, which is the
Sure.
weird thing is like the amount of people that I have in my upper family of like family is everything, and if you challenge that, we will kill you.
Yeah.
You know, our family.
The amount
member.
of people that my family has killed.
Yeah. But
In
like,
my family.
it's just like it's crazy, and they were that close to doing that to her. She
Yeah.
was next up.
Yeah.
You know, because she was a disgrace to that family.
I really like Monsters, Inc.
It's really good.
A lot.
Yeah, it's great.
I have that on VHS, and I will still pull it out and watch it sometime.
Great.
And I've got the Mike's New Car short on there.
Yeah.
And I just adore that movie. John Goodman,
Oh yeah.
very important. It's
never-
very important to have John Goodman in my movies.
But yeah, Billy Crystal. Love the Scream concept, like that being the and I love the solution as
Yes.
well. Everything about that movie is incredible.
Yeah, it's so it kind of parallels like actual energy crisis stuff where it's like, hey, we can't keep mining coal out of the ground forever.
Mm.
And people are like, nope, we've always done it this way. This is how we got to do it.
Frack.
Hey, we found these other alternatives to energy, and if we just invest our time and money and stuff into these other
Wrong.
alternatives, it could be even better. Nope. Coal. So yeah, just having that as kind of like a backbone, and I don't know if that's super intended, but it's also it's just
kind of is.
it's that merged with treating children nicer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have those themes, but then you also have this like the powers that be want things a certain way, challenge those powers, find a better way to do it. They're lying about touching kids being I can't say that.
They're lying about touching kids, dude. Someone's got to put a stop to this.
They're lying that touching kids gets you
Scaring kids.
hurt. No, but you literally like if you
the
touch
touching-
a kid,
touches you.
there's no good way to talk about this.
They know that it's okay to touch kids, but they're lying to us. They're saying we shouldn't touch kids.
Oh no, I can't watch that movie anymore. That's really the moral, is that it was always okay
Yeah.
to touch
They don't want you to
kids.
know
I
this,
don't
but
like
kids
that.
like to be touched.
No, I don't like that. That's horrifying.
That kid touched me first. Monsters, Inc. I love that movie, though.
I like the jazz doors.
The jazz doors.
At the beginning, the opening of the movie, the opening credits is a jazz song with all the cartoon
All the
doors
doors,
opening
yeah.
and closing.
Those are fun.
Wall-E.
Yeah, I never watched Ollie.
You've never watched Wall-E.
Not because I
Really
didn't
good.
want to, just I haven't gotten around to it.
Wall-E, I really like a lot. It is another like man versus nature kind of thing, but it's not done the way that it is in Avatar and Princess Mononoke.
No, it's done by
It's done well.
it's done through a cool robot love story, which is fun.
Yeah, because we open the movie on the Earth has no humans on it anymore, no plants either. It's all gone, all dead. It's just a wasteland. It is like post capitalist wasteland. It's also the movie's very anti-capitalist, so we love that.
Yeah. Speaking of anti-capitalist, what about the prequel to The Menu, Ratatouille?
The prequel to The Menu.
Same guy in there, I'm sure.
Ratatouille, I've liked every time I watched it, but it just doesn't resonate with me, I guess, as much as
Weird, it's a food movie.
I know. And you'd think that I would like it more. I don't dislike it. I like the movie, but it's never. It's like it doesn't hold a candle to Monsters Inc.
No.
Beauty and the Beast. I absolutely love some of Beauty and the Beast. I really
like
love
those talking dishes and stuff.
I like a lot of the songs.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't miss in Disney music.
The thing with Beauty and the Beast is that it blows its wad. It blows its wad too early. All the good songs are in the beginning of the movie, and then then it's like, all right, now what?
Yeah.
Now we're just waiting.
Now
for
we're just got
end.
like a Twilight kind of Angel Buffy scenario. Get that man away from that young child.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I like that comparison. Spirited Away is one that I was thinking like maybe I should rewatch it or something, and then I remembered I was halfway through Princess Mononoke, so I finished it. Spirited Away never super resonated with me, but it's very enjoyable. It's like there's a lot of cool stuff in Spirited Away, and again,
Visually,
the
it's
animation,
awesome.
Visually,
It's creepy. The bathhouse is cool.
yeah, it's really
a cool
cool
place to be.
Yeah,
And it's disgusting. Not the bathhouse, the pigs.
Princess Mononoke has a lot of stuff like that too. Like in Princess Mononoke, when the superpowered human dude fires an arrow, he like dismembers people. So if he fires an arrow at your arm, your whole arm just comes off, or your head, and it's very bizarre.
Shit.
But it's a very gruesome film, much less kid friendly than Spirited Away by a long shot. What do you got? What else you got?
I think I'm ready for the tops.
I want to do a couple more of these.
Okay.
I rewatched the Lego Movie. It was okay. There's some fun stuff in it.
Same with the Lego Batman movie.
I fell asleep during that.
Yes.
I didn't care for it.
I just really like the love story.
I don't even remember it because I was asleep. I liked the lobster part. I like that he ate lobster thermidor or whatever it's called every day.
Oh,
It was like a meal that it's like a fancy meal that he eats every single day by
in
himself.
The microwave, though, right? Like
In the microwave. Yeah.
I'm thinking the love story of him and the Joker. First movie that's really tackled that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
they do that, don't they?
They really show that is a codependent relationship.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
So that I like, and I like the way it ends with them all just holding hands to legitimately connect the world back together. And it's like this epic thing, and then it just cuts to frame of it connected.
That's funny. I don't remember that. That's good. How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. All three of them.
I only seen the first one, but I love it.
I saw the second one first on accident.
Oops.
Dan and Mike were like, you don't got to see the first one. Just come with us. See the theater. So I went and saw. I was like, I got to go see the first one. That was incredible.
Yeah, the first one's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I got to watch 2 and 3, I guess.
Yeah.
I rewatched Coco, which is a movie that I loved at least the first time I saw it, and I still love it, but it didn't make the list.
Yeah.
But the songs in Coco, I will listen to that soundtrack still. Like I listen to it probably a couple times a year still.
Yeah. Coco for me, I really liked Coco the first time, and I haven't had the desire to go back. And Coco for me is like similar to like Onward. Did you watch that movie?
No.
I really, really enjoyed that. And I don't really have a desire to watch it again. But I really was like pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah, it looked really goofy and like not a fun, good way. I was like, this looks like it's like stupid.
And I didn't want to see it because of that.
Me too, yeah. And I didn't. But I heard that it was actually really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good, yeah.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Never saw it.
That might be above Into the Spider-Verse. If I had to pick like a 5 or 6,
Wow.
they're in it. I love that movie. I feel like it didn't get as good of reception as I felt it should have. Not that it was bad, but I thought that movie was incredible, and there's some really funny jokes in it. And it's very enjoyable and very funny. And I never read the book as a kid. I never read the book ever, but I know that it's like a little storybook, I think, that they turned into a full feature, but the feature's great.
Well, here's 2 movies that I want to rewatch, because like one is one that I have watched when I was a kid. I don't remember it well enough, and people say it's amazing, and I wonder if it's on your list. Iron Giant.
Last night, I almost rewatched Iron Giant, and when I say almost, I mean I kind of did. I didn't want to pay for it, so I watched clips and reviews of the Iron Giant instead, so I could like get it refreshed in my mind.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I should have just rented it because it was so good. It's not on any streaming services, and I have a bunch of the streaming services, so I was like, I might as well watch something that I have on a streaming service. But I really wanted to remember Iron Giant because I thought it was going to be on the list.
Yeah.
But then I was like, rewatching all these clips, I was like, this is a great movie, but I don't really remember enough of it. I don't have like as deep of a nostalgia for it as I kind of thought I did, because I didn't remember like a lot of the details. But I still cried.
Oh, even the clips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
God,
rewatch
is that
it
movie
then very
good
soon.
and emotional?
Same, but for a different reason. I only recently, just like in the last couple of years, watched Atlantis, The Lost City.
Yeah, I'd seen that years ago.
Mike showed it to me. He was like, "You're gonna love this," and I was like, "I can't wait to watch it." I don't remember a damn thing. I was way too high. I was just so zooted out of my goddamn mind.
That movie I always mix together with Titan AE.
I don't know what that is.
It's just an animated movie around the same time that was also kind of fantastical, but I think they're in space or something. It's like an adventure with a bunch of people in a ship, but it's in space. And Atlantis, I think they're in a sub most of the time, or part of it.
Titan, that's not what it's called.
Titan AE?
That is not what that movie's called. The space ship. Like it's like it feels like a water ship, but it's in space.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else then.
Yeah.
It's Titan AE.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I will go Google it right now.
No.
Okay, fine.
I don't want to do that. I'm on a roll here.
Okay.
I felt like I was. I really want to watch Soul.
Me too.
I saw maybe like 1 minute of like a trailer for it or somebody talking about it or something, and I was like, oh my God, this movie looks good. When I was looking through the top list of, I looked at the top 200 animated movies on IMDb. Most of them are all ones that are either not out yet or like had just come out in the last year. So they like have not stewed long enough, basically. But Puss in Boots came up as like the
newest one?
Nope.
So the first one.
As like a really high on the list. Like it was like in the top like 40 or 50 above a lot of stuff. Like it was above Finding Nemo, Moana, Kung Fu Panda, Ice Age, Treasure Planet, The Prince of Egypt.
Treasure Planet.
It was above like all of those, I'm pretty sure.
Treasure Planet is the one.
No.
Yes, it is. That's the one I was thinking of.
I've never seen that. I don't know anything about it.
That's the space ship.
Titan AE is another movie though that I think is still they're in like a spaceship or something. It's like post-apocalyptic or something. I don't know if I ever actually saw it, but yeah, Treasure Planet and Atlantis also kind of are very similar to me
it's
too.
Up that high though. It's crazy.
Yeah. So apparently the original Puss in Boots is really good. I never saw it because I was like a spin-off of Shrek 3 or whatever. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
But apparently that one was
and apparently this one that's out right now is incredible.
Apparently is really good. Yeah.
And I found out like what the plot is, like why it's lending itself to darkness. Because like I love that universe is fully embracing fairy tale stuff, right? Like that's their whole thing is like we pick up fairy tales. And so it's the fact that he's on his 9th life.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
I think it's called like Puss in Boots, The Last Wish or something like that.
Okay.
And because I saw like one little clip of it on TikTok, or not TikTok, Twitter, where people were like, this looks terrifying. And I was watching like, this looks terrifying. And there's like that. Sounds good, I think. It sounds like it has a lot to do with like real anxiety, like talking about that as a mental illness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got to watch that one too after the original Puss in Boots, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Luca, I want to see. Have not. Finding Nemo's really good, but just isn't good enough to be some of the other ones.
Yeah. Plus, I haven't watched and I don't want to really. I mean, I'll watch it if I have to.
Finding Dory.
I
think I watched it and it was fine.
But surprisingly good, Monsters University.
I was not a big fan.
I really liked Monsters University.
I thought it was okay, but I feel like most of Monsters University was just like, remember Monsters Inc.? Which I was like, I don't need that. Not to pee in your Cheerios. You can like it.
No, you pee in my Cheerios.
I'm glad that you like it. I'm glad that you like it. The pee. I'm glad you like the pee. You like my pee. Moana, really good. I really like Moana, and I like the songs in it, especially the one by
Tomatoa's song, right?
Who's Tomatoa? Is that the name of the
crab? Yeah.
I didn't know that was his name, but yeah, the one by the artist from
Jermaine Clement.
Jermaine Clement, yeah, I love that one. Present. I've never seen Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, Mike would kick your ass for that.
So would Wizards with Guns.
Oh,
You remember
yeah.
the Wizards with Guns
That's right.
skit? That's a great one.
That would probably have to be. If I had to guess, Mike can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Kung Fu Panda 3 might be on his list of top movies.
Mike?
Yeah. He loves all of them, I'm pretty sure.
We can always bring those guys in for an episode. We wanted to do it for this one, but we can still do it even though we've already talked about animated movies.
I guess.
Ice Age? The first Ice Age at least.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
What's that from?
From the Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, the Batman movie where Mr. Freeze is in it.
Oh, really?
Where
I've got the trilogy of the old Batman movies on VHS.
have you watched them?
Years ago, but
That one-
we should whip them back out.
That one's stapled into my head for when I was a kid, formative years. I fell hard for Poison. Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy.
yeah.
Same movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger is doing all these ice puns the whole time.
So funny. That's so funny. Treasure Planet I've never seen. The Prince of Egypt, I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of and did not give a crap about, but it's like very highly rated. It's like a thing that people consider to be a really good movie.
Oh, I always thought it was considered a bad one.
Oh, is that true?
Not like
I feel like I've just heard people talk
reference.
about it lately. Like watching YouTube videos or seeing
Interesting.
people mention it. Anyways, I've never seen Fern Gully, which I didn't know was one word. So the more you know.
What that is.
It's Avatar again.
Oh.
When Avatar came out, people were like, this is just Fern Gully.
Mm.
It's just like this the same story. A movie that I saw years ago, and I thought it was okay. And then I was dating this girl who was absolutely obsessed with it. And that is the movie 9. Do you remember 9?
I haven't seen 9.
I remember liking it.
It's like Alien-y, right? Or am I thinking
It's post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic.
They're these,
Okay, yes.
they call them stitch punk dolls. They're basically just potato sacks with like steampunk tech.
Yeah.
And they are alive and they all have a number. And I really like that like all of them are unique and have their own number and stuff. And then 9 is the main character. We follow him around. And it is really good. And I think it's kind of like dark.
Like a bleak.
Bleak, yeah. It's like a bleak movie. Akira, I've never seen. But that's one that I wanted to watch, and that's the one with that motorcycle.
Is it like
Akira rides his
anime?
motorcycle. It's an anime, yeah.
Oh, I've heard.
It's a red motorcycle.
I remember that from Rick and Morty.
That was one that I was like, maybe I should give this a chance. I know I'm not going to like it because it's like an action anime. Like, that's not for me. And then the last one is not a movie, but it might have made my list if it was.
It's not a movie.
It is.
Wait. Let me think. Is not? It can't be a TV show.
It is a TV show.
It's a TV show. How is it being brought up in a thing where you were like, hey, I really want to do something with movies? It's a TV show. But does it have like a movie version of it? Why do you?
If it did, I would have put it on the list, but it turns out it doesn't. There are fan edits.
You thought it was?
I thought that maybe there was an edit of it as a movie, but there's not.
Oh, the whole show as a movie.
Yes. Because the whole show is very short.
Because it's over the garden wall.
It is over the garden wall.
Yeah.
And I feel like every
it
time
shows
I've
up
ever
on
watched it.
Letterboxd as a movie.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, what's your, or I guess it would be my turn to do my number one, but I just did a lot of talking, so you do your number one.
Hercules.
Really?
You mean Huncules?
Hercules is okay. I really like Go the Distance. That song is like a really...
The opening song with the Muses is incredible.
Yeah.
Go the Distance, incredible. I Won't Say I'm in Love, incredible. Great music, great acting, all the characters I enjoy.
Danny DeVito.
But I always forget the name of the woman who does Meg Raya. She was like in like...
James Woods.
Although as much as he is a piece of shit, he does
he's
incredible.
great Hades.
Hades is one of the greatest villains for Disney animated movies. I love that. Love Pain and I forget the other guy. But the two little guys.
Yeah.
I love the
Little imps.
the witches with the eye.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way they do the River Styx. I love the whole fake out damsel in distress that she's like pretending to be a damsel. She's in distress.
Yeah,
I got
that's
this.
cool.
And then the Hydras, like everything is so cool. The Titans coming up. Zeus is hilarious. All the gods are fun.
Yeah.
Nothing. I got no complaints.
No complaints about Hercules.
Complaints about Hercules.
You know, the guys that made Hercules, I heard that they were feeling down. I think this is going to really cheer them up.
If the guys who are watching who made Hercules are watching right now, thank you for making that movie. You guys,
Thank you for making Hercules.
Shine a light on me.
Toy Story.
1.
That's my number 1.
Yeah.
And Toy Story 2 and 3 are great. Toy Story
What
4.
an incredible Joss Whedon vehicle, eh?
Yeah. Toy Story 4 was surprisingly good and should never have existed.
Of course.
You
Yeah.
know, there's no need for it.
But I almost feel like they should just, it could have, no one would have cared if they didn't call it Toy Story 4 and they just started, it's almost like when they did Scrubs Interns. If they had really just been like, new show, Scrubs Interns, like a new generation.
No one would have watched it.
I don't know. If you,
Toy Story 4, people are going to go see that.
I guess, but
It's all about the money.
I actively didn't go see it because it was Toy Story 4.
Oh, yeah, I watched it on a plane. But people are going to see it. It's going to make money.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you have kids, you're taking them to see Toy Story 4.
I guess like I would just stop calling them by the numbers. After Toy Story 3, I would have been like Toy Story.
the spoon's alive.
Yeah, or Toy Story Chipwrecked. Anyway, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Toy Story has been one of my favorite movies since I was a wee little tyke.
I don't think you can say that word.
I have it on VHS as well, and I just love everything about it. It might be a perfect movie.
It is. I mean, it catapulted Pixar to what it is. You know, that was the first real Pixar hit. I mean, there was a couple before. I think Bug's Life was before.
It was the first one.
No, it wasn't. That's the weird thing about it. It wasn't the first one.
Well, the first one was like Toy Soldier or whatever, but it is the first one. Toy Story is the first Pixar movie. A Bug's Life.
Hey, Google, what's the first Pixar movie?
Toy Story. On the website
Shit.
Box.com, they say, since the release of its very first feature film, Toy Story, in 1995, Pixar has become one of Hollywood's most celebrated animation studios.
What year did Bug's Life come out?
Like 96 or 97.
Huh.
Like right after. Hey Google, when did A Bug's Life come out?
In the United States of America, A Bug's Life was released on November 15th, 1998. People
Wow.
also ask me,
Stop.
was Bug's Life...
You don't need everything. Okay. Yeah, so it was the first one. I was surprised. Surprising.
Yeah, so Toy Story was the first one, and if you look at the technology that they were animating with, oh my God, is it atrocious, the way that they had to do it, and it looks so good, it almost holds up. Like, it holds up, but you can see the cracks. I love the music. I love all the characters, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a character that I don't like.
A lot of characters.
Slinky and Ham and Rex, like all of them are beloved characters.
I'm
guess
Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
I guess the only issue is that like Bo Peep is a nothing character, and there's
Yeah.
not really any other female characters other than Andy's mom. You know, like there's not a lot of female representation, but aside from that,
Yeah, it's
You know.
1995. I'm surprised Joss didn't get his little grubby little hands all over that. And it was like, hey, let's show her.
get some women in here to
Yeah.
treat badly.
Yeah, they have to go through some kind of sexual trauma for them to have that backstory.
There you go. Perfect movie.
We did it.
Yeah.
We saved the industry.
I just can't really think of anything else that I don't like about Toy Story.
Like you said, with the Bo Peep thing, it's really just like trying to bring it to this era.
Yeah, the universe that is created is really fun. The fact that like toys are alive, that's what you wanted as a kid. You didn't want that? You didn't want to have like
I
you
don't.
hanging out with your toy?
I don't think I ever wanted that.
Do you think that they watch Andy masturbate?
They have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
messed
lot
up.
of things.
Yes.
And
It's
Andy's
kind of
mom has her own Woody and Buzz, I'm sure.
It is. They are both vibrators. Okay. One's a dildo, one's a
And you
vibrator.
think that they probably come to life too, right?
Yeah.
So,
They got it. Oh yeah, there's got to be like a whole.
and it's
Yeah.
basically Sausage Party. Fuck that movie, dude.
Never seen it.
Ugh.
Anyways, Toy Story, fantastic, phenomenal movie. The sequels, like 2 and 3, are also really, really, really good. But I wasn't going to put multiple of them on there.
No.
I really like Jessie. Cool character.
Yeah.
That's where you do start to get at least a little bit more female representation, and that Jessie's just an awesome character.
Yeah.
But yeah, realistically though,
Joan
like
Cusack.
yeah, another great thing about Toy Story is that it's I think 70 minutes long.
We love a short movie.
I think it's 70 minutes long, or maybe 80.
We
But
love
I
a
know
short
that
movie about a king.
I know that Toy Story 1, let's say that it's 80 minutes. the Toy Story 2 is 90 minutes and Toy Story 3 is 100 minutes. They get 10 minutes longer for those.
More credits. Did you see the new Buzz Lightyear movie? Did you take a look at that? Are you going to, you think?
Maybe someday. I'm sitting around looking for something to watch.
Yeah.
If I heard anybody talk about it, if I knew anybody who saw it, maybe they could tell me whether it's worth seeing or not. But I don't know anybody who saw that movie.
I bet Dan saw it.
Yeah, maybe.
You have to ask him. I haven't heard about it, but I feel like that would be something that he would want to keep an eye on.
Sometimes I'll be like, man, I've never, like, I don't know anybody who's seen this movie, and Dan will be like, I saw it. It was okay. Like, all the time that happens where he has already seen something and never talked about it.
Yeah,
because he watches a lot of stuff. Which is
does.
Cool.
Yeah. He's so much better at that than us.
I know, we're terrible.
I know. I like that you personified him as like Seuss in that way. Oh, I've seen that movie. It's terrible. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's go to the audience.
Okay.
Will Hargreaves said, oh wait, what was the
What do you like from
question?
What do you like from the good old 2020, the year of our Lord and Savior? God, had He blessed us in 2022, what did He give you?
Yeah.
That was word for word what our question was.
I just remember that I didn't actually look into the Discord.
Yeah, okay, so that's right, guys. We held up our word. There actually is a channel in the Discord now. Also, if your question didn't show up in this video, it's because our last podcast was posted yesterday. So we did not give it any breathing room.
The best things of 2022. Will Hargreaves says, Good Place is a life changer for sure. The best piece of media from 2022 for me was the band Suede's new album, Autofiction. I can't think of any other record that I get so excited for when I start listening to it. Also, Everything Everywhere All at Once was a visceral experience that changed me as a person for the better. Like Good Place.
Yeah, I responded already to him, and I'll say it to the world. I'm the idiot that hasn't seen that movie yet. And so
I haven't seen it either,
So
yeah.
we're two dumb little boys, and it would have probably 100% been on our list had we watched it.
I went to watch a video yesterday that was like, we're going to analyze some movies and talk about the screenwriting. And I was like, ooh, that's up my alley. And they're like, first things first. Spoilers for this movie include Everything Everywhere Everything Everywhere All at Once, Nope, and a third thing. I was like, get me out of here.
Yep.
I haven't seen any of these yet. Cad Jones says, I don't watch a lot of shows, but there were quite a few YouTube short films I particularly liked this year. Another Day in Paradise and Promise You Won't Get Mad by Joel Haver. Mr. Beast Stole My Best Idea by Trent Lenkarski, who is in a lot of Joel Haver videos. The entire Wizards with Guns channel, basically, but especially Undercover Boss, But the Boss is Evil. And He Invented a New Crime, The Insane Case of Randall Conroy. Secret Agent Squad, But They're All Just the Hacking Guy by Leica Fox Studios. I haven't seen that.
Me neither.
And then, of course, Mini Burrito Sunday and Maddie Cricket's Christmas Special by us.
That Maddie Cricket's getting up there. That warms my heart.
We already had a talk about this yesterday about how much we appreciated that. We are so thankful for...
We made something that's on somebody's list.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Even if it was the worst things I saw this year.
Yeah, I just love that we're on a list.
Yeah.
That's why I penis. Just wanted to get on a list.
Get on as many lists as possible.
I'm going to cut that out.
Yeah, you can just censor it. You have to guess what you fucking said.
This is more than a top 5.
Yawn. Holy shit. This is more than a top 5.
Short
Someone punched you in the middle of it in slow mo. Yeah. Well, this is a bit more than a top 5.
This is, of course, more than a top 5, but I don't really think about which ones are my favorites. I liked these, so I guess you could say they're all my favorite of the year. Thank you, Cad Jones. We really appreciate that. I also think that Mini Burrito Sunday smacked. And I think the Maddie Cricket's Christmas Special is the best improv movie that we've done.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that this is pronounced Aquina, but Aquina says, seriously, check out the Blackadder series. Skip first season for now. Start with season 2 or 3. It's freaking hilarious. And I already responded to this one, too. And I said, I'm not going to skip the first season.
I saw that. You were like, I don't care what you think. I don't hold your opinions in any value.
That's it. but I will do what you say. But only to a point.
But my way.
I do want to watch it. That's something that I've always wanted to watch.
Before they suggested it?
Yeah. That's always been on my list. Because like, I want to see Rowan Atkinson in the Middle Ages. That sounds funny.
Yeah. I had never heard of it before the comment, that's why.
I was going to watch it once and then watched Blackadder instead, and Blackadder is awesome. Wait, no, not Blackadder.
No.
What's the bookstore one?
The bookstore one.
Isn't it Blackadder?
That's the one he's talking about is Blackadder.
Oh, I'm sorry. Crap. What is that show? I always get it confused with Blackadder. British bookstore, British show.
British bookstore.
Black Books.
My British bookstore.
Black Books.
Black Books
is a fantastic British sitcom. And I confuse it with Blackadder for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Anyways,
British.
Camo Bo says, I think my favorite game I played this year is Half-Life Opposing Force and all the other Half-Life games. Although I didn't play Alex, better late than never to one of the best video game franchises ever. And then I don't know pizza. I did make a terrible pizza this year with a lot of cheese on it, but it was mine.
And I like a lot of cheese in mine.
And lastly, my favorite media I watched this year is a YouTube video called RobloxOof.mp3 by HBomberGuy.
Yeah, we have to watch this. It sounds very interesting.
I've already seen it.
You've seen it?
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Don't tell me. Well, tell me a little bit. Don't tell me.
Have you watched other HBomberGuy videos?
I don't even know who it is. Maybe I do, and I just don't know.
I've told you about him at least. He's the guy that does the sell them to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman.
Oh, yes. I did watch that video and a couple
This
others.
video basically is I think it's like an hour and a half long look into the origins of the Roblox sound effect. It's a kid going, oof. That's it. It's It's just a kid going, oof, but it
kind of
is...
in historian-esque then.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're very similar channels.
Gotcha.
In that way. Anyways, I don't want to spoil it, but the video does have a deeper meaning than just oof. If you have the time, I recommend checking it out. Music-wise, it's hard to choose, but I guess it would go to 25.3 degrees north, 91.7 degrees east, which I discovered from listening to Risk of Rain's OST in full for the first time. I think in general, Christodoulou, there's too many U's in that name, is my top musician of the year. All of the Survivors of the Void OST was so good. I don't know anything about those. So.
No, and we didn't respond earlier about Suede. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who Suede is either, but I'm going to check it out. Because listening to an album, that does not take that much time.
No.
Watching a whole series of a TV show or 3 takes a little bit of time. This is a name I've never had to say out loud. Xivels. Xivels. Xivels.
X-I-V-E, Zivils.
Zivils.
I think that is. I had to say it at one point, like for a video, and I remember getting the pronunciation, I think.
Zivils or Xivels or something along those lines. Xivels says, Outer Wilds was by far the best piece of media I consumed this year. It's so hard to talk about this game without spoiling it, but if you want to explore a solar system and unravel the mysteries of a long-dead civilization, there is nothing even close to as good as it. As for the best pizza, I had a really good buffalo chicken and macaroni pizza once.
Ooh!
We have one other comment from Dan Rogers. Thanks for watching and listening. Oh, and if you
have questions,
if you are only watching this video, I want you to go know that there's an audio version too.
And if you're only watching the audio version,
remember that the video version of this podcast is available at youtube.com/professorproductions.
And you can send your questions or answers to GaryOakSucks69@gmail.com.
GaryOakSucks69@gmail.com.
You can
I forgot it.
Send us the questions.
And then, of course, our question for this time is, who's
that
Pokemon?
Dun, 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 dun. It's Stitch. Ohana means family.
What's the best animated thing of all time? Movie. It's got to be a feature. You know, there's no rules, though. Do whatever you want.